Many people have stated that we are currently living in a golden age of anime, but if that's really the case, then where are all of the anime traps? Nya. The reality is that anime traps are almost extinct, with far fewer modern anime TV shows having traps in them than at any point before in the last couple of years. Nya. Unfortunately these days, anime companies have been avoiding trap characters much in the same way that Attack on Titan fans avoid watching good anime, and no one is talking about it. If you've been paying attention to the anime that have been released in the past couple of years, then you'd notice that anime traps have been becoming far less frequent than they used to be. In fact, if we make a timeline plot of famous anime traps, then you'll find that most of them actually happened around the middle of the last decade, with there not being any new, high-quality traps in years. And the situation is even worse if we look at reverse traps. Not only were there not that many of them to begin with, but it seems that their heyday has ended a long time ago. So it would appear as though the golden age of traps may have ended, and I'm not really happy about it. In fact, there's no real good reason for it to have ended. There are still plenty of trap fans out there, myself included, and these days, we just aren't getting the representation that we want. Back in the heyday of traps, a lot of people had this misconception that people were only fans of traps because of the memes surrounding them. But in reality, the situation's a lot more complex than that. Certainly, there did used to be a lot of memes about traps, and that fueled their popularity, but that's not all that there was to the popularity. The demand is there, but it's simply not being met, and this is an exclusively anime-related problem. In pretty much every other form of weeb media, traps are still thoroughly represented. In manga, visual novels, and in standard artwork, you can find plenty of them. But the anime community seems to not care as much as they once did, which is sad because there's plenty of great trap stories out there that haven't been adapted yet, as well as the potential to create interesting trap characters that haven't been explored yet. And there's a few reasons for why this could be. Traps have always been semi-controversial within the anime community. Some of it's over the name, but the majority of the controversy around them is people who can't stand the idea of their favorite show not being 100% straight and are incapable of understanding that if you don't like something, you simply don't have to watch it. I don't really feel that these arguments are honestly arguments at all. They seem kind of stupid to me, and I kind of doubt that authors would care that much about appealing to that demographic either, which leads me to believe that the current creators of anime simply don't have any more ideas for trap characters, which is sad because there really hasn't been that much exploration of trap characters to begin with. Most of the time they were heavily stereotyped and forced into these cliche roles, and it was very rare that we ever saw a trap character get to break out of these roles and explore having a more unique personality within the role. Plus, the community these days is just rather complacent. If you take a look at the most praised shows out right now, then you'll find that most of them just appeal to the straight male power fantasy, have a majority female cast, nya, and are boring as fuck. The lack of innovation is a little bit disappointing, and I think that trap characters are a good way to bring that back, nya. But ultimately, unless we speak out and let the world know that we want to see more traps, it's not going to happen. For as much as I'd hate to admit it, it would seem like the rest of the community's won. They've gotten what they wanted, which are shows that we couldn't really care about. But if we don't let our voices be heard, nya, then our precious traps are going to be murdered. So we simply cannot stand around and wait. That's why I'm proposing that we make a letter writing campaign to the Prime Minister of Japan, Yoshihide Suga, and tell him how we're very disappointed that Japanese cartoons do not have the femboys that we want. And in fact, I have a special message for Mr. Yoshihide Suga himself. You can suck on this dick if you don't put more traps in your shows, bitch.